Hi, welcome to Future Focus Point of View. My name is Patrick, and I'll be your host for the day. I'm joined by James, Johnny, and Dylan. And for today, we're just going to be doing some interview questions, getting to know the guys a little bit. All right, James, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is James Jandrowski. I'm from Stratford, Connecticut, about 15 minutes from here. I commute to the school. And in relation to democratic technologies, something that's important to me is how people receive their information. I've had many conversations about this topic with different professors and students about how they receive their information. A lot of them get it from social media, but when you do that, you only get one part of the story because it's all very centralized, individualized, puts you into a bubble. So if you can't get out of that bubble, you really do not get much of what you're looking at. So I think that's something important to me.
Awesome.
I'm Johnny. I'm from Albany, New York. I'm a senior, sports communications major, and a democratic technology that I guess concerns me or is important to me would be the increased use of VR and the development of VR. I got the opportunity to use a MetaQuest 3 yesterday for the first time, and just like how much more advanced it is than any other VR I've ever used before is kind of like insane. The fact that you can like control like YouTube with your finger and just point at stuff and like click on stuff that doesn't actually exist in front of you is kind of, I guess, creepy. So I definitely think that's a point of interest for me.
Awesome.
Sweet. What's up, guys? My name is Dylan Nuker. I'm from Belmar, New Jersey. I'm a sports media and communications major. And when it comes to democratic technologies, the thing that interests me the most is social media. I just feel like in all aspects of our lives, social media has such a big impact, whether we were talking about it before, 40% of our generation apparently gets their news from TikTok. I'm sure that also carries over into Instagram, Snapchat, all other different types of social media fields. And I feel like that's so interesting and important to note. And I think that social media actually has its hooks in so many different places. Like politically, you can talk about the election and different strategies that political parties use to get in contact with different age ranges, and a lot of it was through social media and their tactics. So I just think that social media as a whole is a very interesting thing to look at.
Awesome. And my name is Patrick Simpson. I'm a junior from Bellingham, Massachusetts. I'm also a sports communications and media major. And one thing that really interests me in relation to this class is the use of AI in relation to people's work, especially recently artwork I've found is very interesting. I feel like that's something that came into the field a lot this year. You know, it blew up in popularity. You see a lot of services, even Instagram has something that lets you generate AI art now. And I find that pretty scary because you've even seen it in like film and like TV recently. You'll see like artwork in like opening credits or like end credits that's developed by AI as opposed to an actual artist. And an actual artist could do a much better job. Maybe they're more expensive, but it has much more personality. So I think the use of AI art, especially now, is troubling because, you know, once it's going to get better, you're going to see a lot less of actual artists.
Have you seen the movie Late Night with the Devil?
I have not, no.
It was a movie that came out last year or 2 years ago, but they got in a big controversy because in that movie there were 3 different scenes that was created by AI, and there was a big like talking point throughout the horror industry as if this is something that should be acceptable or not acceptable. I'm just interested, like, what do you guys think about something like that?
I've seen that movie as well. I know what you're talking about. And the thing that's crazy is like it's such a small little part of the movie that actually features that. But when you see it, it really does stand out.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just interesting to think about if they did have like an actual artist make that, how would it have been different and just sort of the guidelines of when we should use AI and stuff like that. I think it's just interesting to think about.
I don't think, personally, I'm not for using AI for movies and stuff. I like the human creation and the creativity of it, but I think if you're using it in moderation, like you said, it was a small scene, and I've never seen it, but if it was a small scene in the movie, I don't see much of an issue with it.
I think that's, to me, that it sounds kind of crazy that's coming from like a horror movie, especially because in horror films, you hear a lot about people wanting to do stuff like as practically as possible.
Yeah.
Like you have so many like those legendary like makeup and like practical effects artists around like horror movies, and then to use it in something like that is pretty crazy to me.
I agree. And I feel like it kind of undermines like people's creative abilities because, yes, obviously a machine is a machine and it can pump something out that maybe we couldn't even think of in our minds. But that, to me, creates a disconnect that's there that wouldn't be there if it was like the producer or director's vision, because it's just a machine that basically poops something out.
Oh yeah, I remember like the first time like I saw it big on social media. It was in like a Marvel TV show. I forget the name of it, but the opening credits were done with like AI, and so I watched like these opening credits. Somebody had posted it on like Twitter. And so I look at this and it just looked like awful. Yeah. Like it didn't even look like anything. So it's just so strange.
Even something like that is interesting to me because it's like with Late Night with the Devil, it was a smaller production company that used it. So it's not just the big guys on top, such as Marvel, that's using it. It's something that everyone's using. And I think that's really interesting because, like we said with the visual effects, like I love Jaws. Spielberg was fantastic. And that was all practical effects, which I feel like is now kind of a lost art.
Especially with something like Jaws too, where it's so impressive because, like, I mean, you hear the stories about that movie where they had so many problems with the shark, but that almost makes like the allure or like the aura of the movie so much more like intriguing.
Yes, I agree.
All right, that's all from us. Thank you for watching Future Focus Point of View.